Hello Assassins! So today we are going to have the Claws of Awaji expansion available for everybody who did pre-order the game or did buy it separately today. Hopefully using my creator code SKATHA wink wink. But for real, thank you all and huge shout out to Casper from Ubisoft for providing me with the early access to the expansion so I can give you my honest thoughts and opinions as quickly as possible. And yes, these are my opinions. If you feel differently, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the expansion. Also, huge thanks to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video, but more about that in the end of the video. For now, let's dive into the Island of Awaji. In the base game of Assassin's Creed Shadows, you can spend hundreds of hours becoming the next apex predator of feudal Japan, a phantom in the night, or demon on the battlefield. You master the system, you learn tales, and you become the one thing every warlord, bandit, and conspirator fears. Well, the Claws of Awaji expansion is finally here, and it delivers on the dark promise that's all about to change. On the shores of this new island, you are no longer the hunter, you are the hunted. I've spent the last 15 hours trying to survive the hostile island of Awaji, and I can tell you, the feeling of being hunted is real. The game is actively working against you, luring you into ambushes and surrounding you with traps when you least expect it. It forces you to completely overhaul everything you thought you know about the strategy in AC Shadows. So, how do you survive when you are knocked off the top of the food chain? In this video, we are breaking down how the expansion changed everything from the terrifying new enemy faction to the game-changing new abilities and weapons for Naue and Yasuke, and whether it actually delivers a worthy conclusion to their story. So, let's go! But before we do, a quick disclaimer: this video may contain some light spoilers, but I will do my absolute best to keep them as few as possible. That being said, you can access the DLC after you have completed the main story, meaning the Simbakufu, Templar targets, storylines for Naue, Yasuke, and Junjiro. After those, you have to complete Out of the Shadows quest given you by Tomiko from your hideout. After you have done this, we can meet a new character, Konatsu, in our hideout, who has some news from Hattori Hanzo. After speaking with her, you will be guided into an area in the main game with Junjiro, and here we are witnessing something new to the game, a puppeteer that tells a story of shinobi and samurai, and this is playable, and yes, it will be different because it is a side-scrolling, like minigame introduction to the Claws of Awaji. After you have completed this part, you will be loaded into the Island of Awaji, where the actual DLC begins. The story of this expansion begins not long after Naue has learned her mother, Juyi, is alive. Our heroes start tracking rumors of hidden blade-wielding shinobi and travel to the mysterious island of Awaji. Awaji, a brand new region, is the only island region in the world of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and this differs from the main game because now we are the hunted ones. Personally, I'm absolutely all for this change of pace. For example, I usually have left my game while enabling follow the road option on. In the Awaji, this simply is not the ideal due to the environment being more hostile with enemy ambushes, tripwires and caltrops on the ground, making our travel more challenging. So don't leave your game unattended, just like we were left as children. Just kidding. Since the atmosphere is quite dark at times in Awaji when compared to the main game, I'm not sure if it's the enemies or the island itself, but something about that just whispers darkness to me. Ubisoft actually said this to the creators who got the early access.
Join us as we continue the epic journey of Neo and Yasuke, Claws of Awaji promises to surprise and wow you, even when you have already invested countless hours into the game.
it definitely did surprise me in a positive way for better part of it at least. With the new enemies, small but decent sized map, and some would say almost perfect amount of content, so it is not cluttered with the same activities, and it was missing even some from the main game like the Horde Archery and Sumi-Ease, not including the one-side mission that you are doing for Junjiro. At least I didn't see the latter. Some of the boss fights were unique and of course depending on your approach can be challenging. Also they had pretty good amount of variety to them if you ask me. That being said, there are also very similar, if not the exact same type of fights we have encountered before. That's fine. We are playing AC Shadows after all, so changing everything for the expansion wouldn't be ideal for the experience, in my opinion. Personally, I want to play the same game with some new experiences, and this DLC is definitely doing that. Now, before anyone watching this thinks I'm just gonna sing praises, I wish I could sing LOL, or that I'm paid to give positive review for this game. I mean, bro, I can't even pay attention. But jokes aside, I did run into trouble as well in the 15-ish hours I was playing. For example, one of the main targets was so badly bugged for me, it took me approximately 4 hours to figure out a workaround just so I can finish the main story for the expansion. Also, I still can't do one side mission without my game crashing on me. In case anybody is curious, I did do the early access with my potato of a PC. So I know there is a chance that this is a hardware issue even when playing on the low settings, because I know my PC isn't actually meant for the high-end gaming. But that doesn't change the fact that the one-side mission, which is tied to achievement, is undoable for me at the time of recording this video, and trust me, I have been trying to find a workaround for that as well. At least the same amount of time I did do for the main target. But for this one, there is only one approach. So that sucks, and hopefully when I can play the DLC with my PlayStation 5, this issue will be fixed. So let's see, fingers crossed. And the trouble doesn't end there. As you already know, the title update 1.1.1 did add the unfogging of the map after visiting all of the viewpoints. Of course, if you did upgrade one building in your hideout. But for me, for some reason, I only can use 2 of the fast travel points, the main base Kakurega in the expansion, and of course the traveling back to the main game option. Other viewpoints and Kakuregas are absolutely locked for me. I cannot use them, well, I can't use them for fast traveling, but I still can get the contracts, refill my supplies, and I can manually go there, but I cannot fast travel whatsoever. At first, I wasn't able to fast travel to the northern parts of the game, and after some progression in the story, more and more Kakuregas and viewpoints were lacking, in the lack of the better term. But now it is at the point I have only 2 options in the same exact area to fast travel. If I want to go, let's say, in the middle of the map, south of the map, or northern parts of the map, I need to run. Thankfully, the playable area isn't that huge, but it is still annoying and it will take some time, especially with more unforgiving environment and enemies on the roads. So I'm not sure if that is the case for other content creators or just me, but I guess we will find more about that a little bit later on today when everybody is getting their videos out. Also, in the DLC, I didn't like the fact the regular vendors like the gear vendors, ornament vendors didn't sell anything new, like rare mount skins, hideout decorations, stuff like that. Of course, the gear vendors can have the bow staves on sale, and of course after the patch they are selling mythic gear as well. But one thing about the vendors did surprise me, and when I say I'm hugely surprised about this, was the fact how many secret vendors I did encounter in very short amount of time. I mean, they are everywhere in the game. And I'm not even lying when I say I probably missed tens of them in my first few hours because I was confusing them as regular NPCs. I didn't even bother to check them if they were selling anything because the game actually did change the look of the secret vendors. And when I'm speaking about the look, I mean it isn't a huge camp anymore. It is like little stand and one NPC over there. So they are definitely harder to spot which ones are secret vendors and which are not. And I'm definitely doing an update video about the secret vendors locations when I have the time. So definitely hit the like button if you want to see that. So yeah, if you are playing the new Shadows expansion and you have a ton of stuff that you don't need, if you did get your hideout upgraded already in the Awaji, it is definitely smart to sell everything you don't need to these secret vendors since they are giving more mon for your stuff. But what I'm not recommending anymore, do not buy the gold from the secret vendors anymore. With the latest update, we can now earn gold, and again we need to upgrade the building for that one if we want a chance that our scouts are bringing back gold every time the season changes to our hideout chest, and also when you have looted every legendary chest in your main save file, you are doing the new game plus and plus, etc. The legendary chests are giving you gold, so there are definitely better ways to gain gold than the secret vendors, at least for now, especially the price they are selling them. Personally, I did see gold being sold at 12,000 mon per piece. So that is definitely salty, and there are better ways to get gold. So just use them to sell anything you don't need and move on. Also, one thing I wasn't a huge fan of was the fact our forge was left behind in the mainland and we didn't get any replacement like mini hideout where we can upgrade our stuff. So for that we still need to go into the main game if we want to upgrade in Grave our gear. That is unfortunate because like in AC Valhalla, where we did had blacksmiths in the expansion areas, we were able to upgrade our newly required gear from the expansion much quicker. But no, that is not the deal breaker, since we can fast travel to the mainland straight to our hideout really fast. It is just more like minor annoyance. World, again, it is stunning in my humble opinion. To me, the characters mostly did seem well made, and it was super fun that Naue was reunited with her mother, and the game actually was improved what comes to the dual protagonist system. It felt much more impactful than previously, where either Yasuke or Naue, depending which one you were using, just popped into the scene. Now we are getting more that we are playing both in the same mission, and that is really fun in my opinion. And you have to think of upgrading skills, thinking of your playstyle a little bit more than in the main game of AC Shadows. In a nutshell, the dual protagonist system in Claws of Awaji has a purpose. Also, for the plus 10 hours of playable content in the Claws of Awaji, we get some cool armors and new weapons that actually left me wanting for more designs like those. Here on the screen we have a few examples of the new gear that you can get out of this experience to give you an idea what you are getting into. But of course, the introduction of the bow staff is huge deal for everybody, and it is actually a game-changing weapon for Naue's close combat arsenal. For me, the bow staff, it actually took my heart. It is absolutely fantastic, beautiful weapon to use and also really powerful, and I actually am advising you to use the staff as your main weapon and either Tanto or Kusarigama as your secondary for the assassination perks, the double and rush assassination. The bow staff also has many finisher animations and also additional way to use high and low attacks. Similar to block stance attack or seated posture attacks, but now we are doing it a little bit differently, but it feels great when you are landing the hits, giving a little bit more in-depth in combat. What comes to the story, in my opinion, it was structured really well. Was it perfect? Perhaps not, but it was still really good, giving much needed closure, although it could have benefited of couple plot twists here and there to make us go wow or no way. Without spoiling anything, I highly recommend everyone to focus on the main story first, not only because of the flow, but it also opens up due to other stuff you can do while giving you quite good amount of experience while doing so. Just remember to upgrade your Terra building to level 3 to get the max benefit of plus 20% more experience gains instead of previously with level 1 10% experience gained. So, what do I think of the DLC overall after finishing it? In my opinion, it is definitely worth playing. It has a nice change from the main game. I might start a new game and visit the island again as soon as possible because I really did enjoy the overall experience the Claws of Awaji did offer. Even though there was issues that I was facing, I do remain hopeful that once I can play the game on my main platform, which is PlayStation 5, the issues won't occur again. If they are, I will let you know. And if you run into any trouble yourself, let me know in the comments so we can figure out a workaround together if possible. Before we end, I will actually rate this DLC same as I did for the main game, so around 8, 8.5, maybe even 9 out of 10 as a DLC. It was really good experience. I really did enjoy my time playing it, and I actually want to see more stuff like this in the future. So, in a nutshell, Claws of Awaji changed the game enough, yet it is not perfect, no game is, just saying. If you decide to pick it up and try it yourself, I'm confident that you will enjoy it if you did enjoy the main game. And of course, if you didn't enjoy the main game, you are probably not the biggest fan of this DLC either. Thus, we are at the point where I want to thank my channel members and all of you who watched this video this far. Just throwing this out in the open, but Ubisoft is having an autumn sale from September 16th to September 19th. Use my creator code SCATHA in Ubisoft store, check out to get a discount and bless the channel that way, which will apply to all eligible purchases. Also from September 19th until October 2nd, what is on the offer? Well, up to 90% discount on previous Assassin's Creed titles and up to 40% discount on Assassin's Creed Shadows, making this lowest price ever for the game. Also, Wolfpack is getting an extra discount. The previously mentioned creator code can be combined with the promo code AUTUMN at the checkout to get $15 off from the minimum purchases of $29.99. Since the DLC is priced at $24.99, it can be combined with other items to reach the threshold. Basically, you are getting the DLC with half price. Unfortunately, this is only for the PC players that are using Ubisoft Connect. For now, have fun. Until we meet again, SCATHA over and out. Bye bye.
Awaji. If the lead from the puppet show is true, Tsuyu is somewhere on this island.